It's me, your fanboy, and today is another slightly not super polished and really edited and just much more like not like even a filler video. Like it's definitely not like that. It's more just kind of like a video or just me talking to you about something I'm thinking about in my being. And today I really want to talk about Cyberpunk. It honestly is a game that a lot of people have very mixed opinions on, but to me I think it's phenomenal. Like it's one of the best games I've played, at least very recently, and one of the only games that I played recently that I can't stop thinking about it. It's like anytime I'm not playing it, I want to play it more. And I'm playing on the PS4, and people love to make jokes about how it looks and runs on the PS4, but I must be lucky because I've only had like 3 crashes, and it really doesn't look that bad, especially compared to like other PS4 games. Like it's really impressive. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about mods. Mods, I think, are some of the best part of any game, especially if you're playing on the PC. Like the mods are really, they could change the entire experience of the game. Like from adding Toss the Tank Engine to Skyrim, to adding Toss the Tank Engine to Fallout 4, or even now adding Toss the Tank Engine to Cyberpunk. You could do so much with mods. It's like crazy. It's like a whole different thing. And today I want to talk about 5 mods that I really want to come to Cyberpunk. And I'm really impressed. I didn't think Cyberpunk was even going to be able to be modded, but already there's a lot of very impressive mods out there. And it's so cool. Like already there's really cool mods, and there are a lot, and I think there's a lot of potential, especially since modding is only going to get better and better from here. So I wanted to talk about the top 5 mods that I personally would really want, and I'm kind of looking forward to. But I'm not expecting these mods to just happen just because I said it, but I'm hoping that they happen. I'm sure that other people probably have the same ideas, so it probably would happen at some point. And I'm not going to talk about mods that already exist, kind of like the mod that lets you have your mantis blades be different colors, like a certain character in the game, or like even like mods that would be like DLCs, things that I'm pretty sure that Cyberpunk will eventually add, or things that would be way too tricky for Cyberpunk to add. Kind of like, well, not too tricky for Cyberpunk to add, mind you. I meant too tricky for modders to make. Kind of like adding whole new companions, or like new content like dates, or different like car colors and things like that. Things that I'm sure they will eventually add to the game. Just things that I think modders could do, and things that's reasonable for modders to do. So I would like to talk about 5 mods that I have ideas for that might not be made, but gosh, do I want it. So number 5, this is a very tiny mod, and I'm sure that there might even be the mod out there somewhere, but it is in the character creator for the lighting to not suck ass. It's a little crass, but basically the lighting in the character creator is it's not even accurate to what your character will actually look like in game. So it's a problem that Outer Worlds had a lot too, and it's why I had to restart like 3 or 4 times in that game to even get the right hair color, because the lighting makes a lot of the hair, like the colors of it, completely different. And Cyberpunk has a problem too. Unlike Outer Worlds, though, it seems like there is a modding community for Cyberpunk, and this seems a very easy problem. I'm really hoping that there's a mod for it, because even though it's not a huge problem, it definitely is annoying. So number 4, this is a mod that technically does exist. So I am not like, it would be way higher on the list, but it is a proper third-person mod. Now, if you played Cyberpunk, you know it's entirely in first person. You can see your character like more in like the camera mode and things like that, but you can't ever actually play with like in third person, see your character in all their glory. And that is a mod I would love to see. Sure, I love the first person Cyberpunk because it's actually like I think the most immersive first person I've ever played. Like I feel like V when I play Cyberpunk. And I definitely think that a third person mod wouldn't be crazy hard, especially as there already is a third person mod. But it is very it's a very work in progress. Like, it is nowhere near complete, and when it is completed, I can't wait to try it. So number 3, it kind of goes off of that because this mod wouldn't be as important without a third person mod. And like that, there is a mod that already exists kind of like this, which is a body mod. A mod that lets you have way more body diversity with your character. There is a mod that does this, and it's great, and it already shows that this is a possibility, which is awesome. But like, for me, when I make a new character, I don't want it to just, like, having body choices just makes my creativity muscles go oonga boonga, you know? Like, I love that. Like, even just very minor details, like in Skyrim, from like skinny to heavier, is great because it gives me so much more options to be creative during making my character. Unlike, say, like Outer Worlds, for example. I don't want to pick on Outer Worlds. I love it to death, and it's definitely one of my favorite games from last year. But it's also a problem I have with the replayability of that game is that you cannot change your character's body no matter what. And Cyberpunk, there is already a mod for this. It's very work in progress though too. But I would love to see more body diversity because that would be awesome. Like, let me have dummy thick characters. Or characters with big old like, at least let me make my character's thighs as big as they are in real life. Because while her body is very similar to my body, it is still not exactly right, and I would love to be able to just do those fine little tweaks, you know? So my number 2 is I would love for the pronouns of your character to be like interchangeable no matter what your voice or your body type is. Now, there is definitely, it's a big step in the right direction that even you could change your voice type so you could have like a very traditionally femme V, have a very deep male voice. But I wish that you could have the pronouns be no matter what the voice. So like, because I am a femboy, I like to, like, I made my V look like me, and I was role-playing as if I was V. But the problem is that, sure, while I was able to give them a donger, which is a great choice, they still said she and her, and the only way I could get it to be he and him is if I switched to the male voice. But the problem is the male voice is so deep. It's like crazy. And even though I was really tempted to do it for immersion's sake, I wouldn't be able to listen to it because it would sound nothing like me. At least female V is closer to me, and I do love her voice. But I really would hope that is a mod that comes out at some point, because it would just, it'd be so wonderful. So, my number 1 pick for my Cyberpunk, like, wish list is kind of along the lines of the second one, and I think might be too hard considering how much dialogue there is in Cyberpunk, but I would love if there was a pitch and a tone changer for the voice, or at least some sort of voice changing. Now, you might think that's impossible. How could you change the pitch and tone of all the voices? At least for your V. And I would say Fallout 4 has a couple mods that, despite all the voice acting with that character, you could change their pitch like crazy. There's so many mods for it showing that is possible. Cyberpunk, that being said, has a lot of dialogue. I think it has more dialogue than Fallout 4 does with your main character. And I don't know how viable it would be to do that, but it would just be so nice, because even if there was no way to change your pronouns for the voice, you could at least take the male voice and hike the pitch up like crazy and make their voice sound much more feminine, or vice versa. And it would be great, because even if like there was that pronoun mod, the female V's voice actor is deeper than mine, so being able to just pitch it just a tiny bit higher, it would just be so wonderful. It'd be so nice. And again, like the body type, it lets you have just so much more immersion and more creativity with the characters you make, I think. So I really would love it. Alternately, I had another number 1 choice, so I'll say it now. It's gonna be an honorable mention, but if I would also love this mod too, almost as much as that, is more cybernetics. I know that there's a lot of cybernetics in the game, but more specifically, I want more cybernetics that show on your person. Like, there are already modders who are making mods like this, and that's why I didn't want to bring it up originally. But like, not just like cybernetics that like NPCs have. While it's awesome if there's mods that you have like the crazy eyes that like Maelstrom have, or even like really nut stuff, like having like big old like tiny sharp ballerina feet on your character, or like very visible chrome all over. Well, I love that to death. I really hope that they go all bonkers with it. That was a big thing I wanted in Cyberpunk when I first started playing it, is that you have crazy cybernetics. Like, not just like, you know, like golden arms or like rocket launchers in your wrists, but I wanted like nut stuff, like lawnmowers on your hands, or like a unicycle as legs. And I know that's probably not like the best gameplay wise, but dang it, that'd be so cool. With how much Cyberpunk is about like modifying yourself and being able to do basically whatever you want with your body due to the advancements, like with Ripper Docs and stuff. Like, don't tell me that somebody out there hasn't gotten like giant plus size gazongas, or better, gazongas that have bombs in them. So if you chest bump someone, they're donezo. But you know what I mean, right? Or at the very least, I would love if the cybernetics in the game, all of them show up on your body, because the arm ones do. Like, very clearly you could see them on your arms, but none of the other cybernetics do. It'd be cool if you have different eye mods, if like there's like effects around your eyes. I know you could already change your eye effects in the character creator, but like ones that are that way, so you could kind of tell just by looking at your character what mods you have and implants you have installed. I think that'd be really cool. And I think that's a big part of what's cool about Cyberpunk in general, is just how much like it lets you almost be creative with your body in ways that like tattoos and hair color and stuff you can't. It's very cool. I love the concept, and I hope that if modders don't do it, maybe Cyberpunk itself will elaborate on it at some point, because it'd be cool. I'd definitely pay for something like that, like absolutely.